Hey you guys, welcome back. Today's day 7 of Planvember, if I do my counting right. So today we're going to be doing a recurring task tracker as we continue with our setup of our 2018 journals. So I'll take you guys through how I deal with recurring monthly task trackers. I should be more specific. It's not just recurring tasks, it's recurring monthly tasks. So give me just a couple minutes to get the link shared out, and then I'll be right back with you guys. So as you come in, just go ahead and comment and let me know where you're coming from, what your experience with journaling is, if you're planning on setting up a new journal for 2018. And yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys. So go ahead and drop those comments below as you come in. I'll be just a second as I get these shared out. All right. Okay. All right, there's that one. Okay. All right, that's good. And I think last time there were a couple of links that you guys wanted ahead of time, like the notebook that I was using. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab that link for you guys, and I'll drop it right there in the comments, because last time I know that was an issue. You guys wanted to know what it was. I've got a little tickle in my throat today, so I apologize if I start coughing in the middle of this. All right. Okay, we've got a few people. If you're just now joining us, what we're doing today is I'm doing a journal with me live every weekday this month, with the exception, so no weekends, and with the exception of the week of Thanksgiving, because I've got family coming to town. But other than that, I'll be on here at 10:30 Central each day going through my 2018 journal setup, so that you guys can do it along with me, so that you don't have to do it at the last minute like I did last year, and then it was a huge problem. So, okay. So right here in the comments, I'm just gonna drop the scribbles that matter that I'm using for my 2018 journal. You can pretty much use any notebook you want. This just happens to be the one that I'm trying this year. I like to try new things. Hi, Natalie from the UK. Good to have you. You guys, I don't know why I was about to put my computer on the floor. That was kind of a bad idea. Okay, so I heard from some people yesterday in the UK that they couldn't find the circle maker, the helix and circle maker that I use in some of my circular spreads. Here, let me grab it and I'll show it to you guys. So this guy, I guess you guys in the UK can't find this on your UK version, like the Amazon UK. So there were a couple on eBay, somebody said. Hi, Alice from Florida. Ooh, what part of Florida? I used to live in Florida. I was actually born in Florida. I was up in the Panhandle, though. So it's kind of different from the rest of Florida. But anyhow, yeah, I was really sad to hear that you guys in the UK can't find this little guy. I mean, your Amazon has circular protractors, but not the ones that spin like this. So I was kind of bummed. I feel like, oh, you got one. Okay, so Natalie says she got one similar to this one from Moxie Dory. That's good to know. Okay. So Alice is from Largo, Florida. Well, that sounds nice. That sounds nice and sunny. It's not sunny where I am today, but it's not as cold as it was yesterday. But I really like the cold. So you won't get a lot of complaints out of me when it's cold outside. So, all right, we've got quite a few people kind of making their way in here now. And today I actually shared this with the Journaling Pros group. I don't know the exact name of the group. I'm sorry, you guys. Let me look at it. It's Journaling on the Job, and I shared it with those guys today because a lot of times when you use your journal at work for professional reasons, you have to track a lot of recurring tasks that come up on a regular basis, especially if you deal with clients that you need to do things for them on a weekly or monthly basis. And I felt like this spread would be really useful for that crowd. So I went ahead and shared it with them. If you use a journal on the job, then hi Sarah, then you may want to look into that group, joining that group, because they have a lot of project managers and a lot of people who use their journals in a professional manner, which I really connect with. I mean, my job is journaling, so they're a really good group, and I really enjoy being a part of that group. So check them out if you guys get a chance. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. We've got quite a few people coming in. I see we've got some people who are new to journaling, planning journaling, and bullet journaling, and I make a little bit of a distinction between those because I feel like it's incumbent upon me to make a point that we tend to, in the journaling community, we tend to use the term bullet journal as a generic term, but it's actually a brand. So I try to respect them. And if I'm talking about the bullet journal system specifically, then I try to say bullet journaling. But if I'm going off on like my own little artsy stuff that is kind of more for fun, then I try to make a distinction. If you want to call yours a bujo, a bullet journal, you go for it. You're in charge of your own destiny, not me. So I just want to make sure that you guys understand why sometimes I say journaling and sometimes I say bullet journaling, because I try to really be respectful of their system. So, okay, let's get started. I'm going to move my tripod around here so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay. There we go. And hang on, let's do it this way. Move you over just a little bit more. Okay, I've got my comments on, and I can look back over my shoulder and read the comments from you guys. So if I'm writing, I may not answer your comments right away just because, I have to look back over my shoulder. But this way I can kind of peek in on what you guys are up to. So let me get you guys caught up. If you're new to this series, what we're doing is, this is my current journal. I'm moving into my 2018 journal, and I'm starting it way early this year because last year I started in a rush and I was, wrapping presents and had 2 glasses of eggnog in me and started thinking about goals, and it was a little bit of a mess. So I wanted to really start early this year and make sure that I put a lot of thought into it. The first journal of the year for me tends to set the tone, so I'm really putting a lot of energy into how I do it this year. So I will finish my current journal, probably, I'm about halfway through it, so I'll probably finish this one right about the time it's time to jump into this guy. So I'll set my old one aside, and this is the notebook that I'm moving into. I have not used this brand before. Oh, I got some ink on it yesterday though, but it rubs right off. No big deal. So I have not used this one before. It's a Scribbles That Matter Pro. So if you do use your journal at work, I know sometimes people don't like having journals that look like it's their teenage diary and they really want to look professional at work, and I totally understand that. So this brand came out with a pro version that has more subtle doodles inscribed on the back, and it comes in a variety of colors, some of which are very professional looking. So I happened to pick a very bright one, but and I'm excited to try this one. I haven't tried it yet, and people kept asking me about it, so I decided to take it for a spin. Okay, so this one already has an index and a key pre-printed in it. I have not filled in my index yet because I tend to do my early planning pages all at once, and then I come back and I fill in the index just because it's easier for me in case I change my mind. Hi, Kimberly. And then, yeah, they've left a few pages for the index. And then my very first page was just kind of a fun doodle page with my word for 2018, which is going to be gratitude. Last year my word was simple because my life seemed to like it was getting very complicated unnecessarily. So this year my word is gratitude, just because it was a really good year for us this year, and I want to keep that in mind as I move into 2018, is just be conscious of the things we have to be grateful for. Then I've got my year at a glance page, which we went through, and I gave you guys some tricks for that. My birthday and holiday wheel. I have not filled in my family's birthdays yet. I need to do that. But this is basically birthdays on the outside, holidays and important dates on the outside. It's just kind of a fun way to do it in a, a colorful way. But, and then I go into my future planning pages, which are very simple and pretty foolproof because I would mess it up every time if there's too complicated of a system. This is very simple. There's just one line per date, and then I always have a place to put an appointment. And I usually can fit 2 appointments on one of these lines. And if I run out of space, then I can kind of use it like a Calendex and just stick a page number right there, and then I'll just flip to that page for more details on what's going on that day. All right. I did different colors for each group of months. So I've got January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, and then I switched to a salmon color for September, October, November, and December. So Kimberly says that this is actually going to be her first journal. So that's exciting. You're doing it just in time to get pre-planned too, by the way. So, okay, and then yesterday we created this 2019 overflow page, and this is basically an extension of future planning. It's just a way to give me one more place to write things down in case something's happening in 2019 and I haven't had a chance to get any pages set up for it. Now, probably by the time I use this page, I'll be in a new journal and I'll have to photocopy it and paste it in the new journal or copy it again by hand. It just depends on what I'm in the mood for. If I'm in a rush, I just photocopy it, cut it out, and paste it right into the journal pages. It saves a lot of time. But I find this type of a page comes in handy when you start getting into November and December and you have to start planning for the next year. Our family has to plan things really far in advance, so this comes in handy. Okay, so the next page that we're going to create today, I had a little sticky note here to remind me, but I took it off and stuck it somewhere, and now I don't know where it is, which is why I keep a journal to begin with. I can't keep track of sticky notes. So, but today's going to be a recurring task tracker. So it's going to end up basically grouping with these next 2 pages. On this page, I'll have my planning routine, and on this page, I'll have my journal checklist, which is something that I'll check every month when I'm going to be migrating a spread or migrating tasks or migrating appointments to a new spread. I find that having a systematic process helps me keep track of everything, and I don't end up with lost bullets, things that just slip through the cracks. So, okay, so let's get started with this recurring task tracker. So I'm going to do monthly recurring tasks because those tend to be the things that, for me, I'm most likely to forget about. If it's something I do every Tuesday, I probably am not going to forget it. But recurring, like monthly tasks, I'm not great at remembering those. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do a fun header for this one first, and then we'll get started with with actually setting up the tracker part of it. I'm going to take off these notes real fast just because they tend to leave marks on the paper if I write over them. So I'm going to take those off for just a sec. Okay. Hi, Heather. I'm glad you could make it. Alrighty, let's get started. So what I'm using is, I'm actually using kind of a thicker pen right now. This is a Micron 08, and I like a nice thick line on my headers, so that's what I'm going to be using. And I haven't totally decided yet how we're going to do this. Let's do, I know what we'll do. Okay. Now, I usually just dive straight in with ink on pages like this. Every now and then I use pencil if I need to sketch something out or if I need to think about what I'm doing. But I try as much as possible just to dive right in with the pen and not worry too much about whether or not I make a mistake, because then I just wouldn't ever get anything done. Okay, so I've kind of put a little bit, I've put an R inside this little arrow here. And then I'm just gonna make kind of some thick, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna do some thick box letters, nothing fancy. I did a little bit of a fancier header on the opposite page, so for this one I feel like I can get away with doing something a little simpler. And you don't ever have to do any kind of artwork in your journal at all if you don't want to. I just enjoy it, so I end up putting it in there, but Oh, please tell me recurring is spelled with 2 R's. Let me check real fast. Ooh, that's going to be embarrassing if it's not. I think it is. Yes, recurring has 2 R's. Recur has 1. So, okay. I'm usually a pretty good speller, but every now and then, you know, when you start writing something out in fancy letters especially, you lose track of what you're doing. No, Amy, I haven't. Amy's here. Amy's been coming since the beginning. She has, I don't think she's missed a single one. Have you, Amy? No, Amy, we haven't done any vote for color or no color yet. So we'll take a look at this spread. This is a very functional spread. So we'll kind of see how it looks at the end. And then if you guys want me to go back and add color, we can at the end. But, all right, and let's do it like this. I'm going to make kind of a fancy T here. There we go. We've got recurring tasks. Okay, and I'm just going to go back and kind of darken in a little bit on the downstrokes of my cursive letters here. Just to give them a little bit more of a stylized look. And again, you don't have to do this. It's just fun. A lot of times, depending on the page, sometimes I'll come back and do the header afterwards because especially if I have thoughts that I need to get down in a hurry. I know some people worry, they're like, well, by the time I've written the header, I've forgotten what I was going to write down on the page. So if that's the case, then write the page first. Just leave a little bit, like leave 4 or 5 spaces for your header. Write down what you want to write down, and then if you feel like going back and doing a fancy header, you can. But don't ever let yourself be a prisoner to making things beautiful. This is just supposed to be extra. This is just supposed to be for fun, this part. Things have to be functional too. So, okay, so I've got a nice little header there for recurring tasks. Okay, Amy said she missed day 1 and she can catch up. So I know Amy, I think she's been here almost every day though. She's been probably my most loyal watcher. Okay, so unless there's someone else out there that's been here every day, then go ahead and speak up. Let me know. I don't want to overlook anybody. So now we're just going to go ahead and create a little bit of a chart to keep track of our recurring tasks. So I'm going to put away my big thick header marker or pen, and I think I'm going to use a number 5 here to do my lines. So I'm going to go ahead and just pick a line right about here. Now I'm going to end up writing my months vertically. I'll write those vertically. So I want to leave a little bit of space between my header and where this first line is going to go. So that looks about right to me. I think I can probably squeeze all the month names in there. So I'll just go ahead and draw a line. Okay. And then I just need to count backwards. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and extend that down, I think. Okay. Hi, Lisa, you made it back. Hi, Samantha, glad to have you. Oh, Amy, I'm glad that you like the handwriting practice pages. Yeah, those are a lot of fun. I need to get out my handwriting practice pages again soon. Those were a lot of fun. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn the journal sideways, and I'm going to go ahead and do the months of the year. And I'm going to go backwards from December so that my January is going to end up on the left and my December will end up on the right. So, you know, working in order. If you want, you can just use the numbers of the month. I'm going to use the actual names of the month because I'm that person who has to count on my fingers and go January, February, March, April. So after all these years, I just can't figure it out. So, okay, here we go. And actually, I think I'm going to switch to a 3 to actually write my letters. I used a 5 to write my lines, and I'm going to switch to, this is a Tombow Mono drawing pen in 03. And I have really been liking these Tombow pens because if I leave them uncapped like this while I'm doing a page, they don't get sticky or dry out. And I have had that problem with my Faber-Castells, which I really like because they're dark and they're a nice pen, but I use them less and less. And I find myself using the mono drawing pen, the Tombow pens a lot more. So, okay, let's start writing here. All right, November, October. And I guess this would be kind of a neat place if you wanted to sneak in some color. You could write each month's name in a different color if you were up for that. So December, November, October, September. And don't be ashamed, like if you can't do the months, don't be ashamed of doing things like this, because we all have these problems. So if you write out the months in order, for some reason, doing things backwards, we have a hard time, like the alphabet backwards, or doing any of those things backwards. It's much harder than if you did it in order. So don't be afraid to like write things out ahead of time. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. And then just stick that right here for yourself and use it as a reference and just go backwards, because there's no shame in that. There's no shame in not being able to do everything in life backwards. August. We've got May, April, March, February, oops, February, January. Okay, so I've got all my months there. And then I'm just going to draw another vertical line on the other side of January. Oops, wrong pen. Okay. And then I'll actually go through and fill in the rest of the vertical lines on these. I'm not necessarily going to fill in all the horizontals, because that'll depend on how many tasks I'm going to be tracking on here. So Amber, if you missed it, the pens that I'm using today, I use a lot of different pens. I have a problem, you guys. I tend to want to try every new pen that comes out. But okay, so the pens I'm using today are Tombow Mono Drawing Pens, number 3 and 5. And I also used a Pigma Micron number 8 to do my header, because it's a much thicker line and it saves me a little bit of effort. So, oh, Megan, if you want the handwriting practice pages, they're on my website. So if you go to pageflutter.com, just search, there's a search bar there's a little search area in the sidebar, the right sidebar of the website. Just search handwriting, and there'll be a couple of posts that come up there. And I've got the handwriting practice pages in those posts. I need to just drop those handwriting pages in the vault. I have a secret area of the website for people who get my newsletter, and I need to drop those handwriting pages in the vault for you guys, just so that it's easier to get. But yeah, so look for that. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and draw these vertical lines for us real fast, okay? So, and I like to draw my vertical lines starting at whenever I'm drawing a line like this, that there are going to be a lot of them real close together, I like drawing the ones that are at the top first and pulling my ruler down. Otherwise, if I go up, I get smears. Okay. I think this was probably the best thing that I added to my journal last year, was this recurring task tracker. And so, oh, before I forget, I mentioned it yesterday, but I want to mention it today too. I first developed this layout after seeing Kim from Tiny Ray of Sunshine. She had one that was, I mean, it's almost identical, to be honest. I didn't really develop it, she did. But I want to give credit where credit's due, right? But anyway, I first started using it after she posted about it, and really it's one of the best things that I could have added to my journal. All right, I had an eraser here somewhere. Hold on. Here, I'll just use this little guy. Sometimes if you get like a little stray ink mark, you can use an eraser to actually get it off. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how clean you can get ink. Okay, there. So now we can get started with the actual tasks. And I'm gonna, let's see, am I gonna skip a line? No, I'm not going to. I'm just gonna do it like this. So when we end up going the other direction, obviously we'll end up with all these little boxes that we can check off. And then each line will hold a task. So let's see, I'm gonna get caught up with the comments real fast. Hold on, guys. Oh, thanks, Amy. I'm glad you liked the fall bucket list. That's a fun one, huh? I had fun with that one. I really like fall. I'm a little bit fall crazy. Okay, so now we'll end up with a line for each task that we have to accomplish once we draw these across. Okay, and then you guys can start thinking about what kinds of tasks need to be done on a monthly basis. So the ones that I typically track are things like resetting my data counter on my phone so that I can pay attention to that, giving my dog her heartworm medicine, giving my kids haircuts. I like my boys to have haircuts once a month. I run a tight ship. We like haircuts. So there are just things like that that I like to keep track of, and making sure that, okay, so that's probably enough for now, and then I'll fill in more as we keep going. So each one of these lines is gonna hold a task. And I think I would like to write down some of those tasks in a colored ink, and then we'll mirror that color in our arrow. So if you guys want a color, you can vote for a color. I have all kinds of colors. So lately, this month, I've been using these new Tombow twin tones, and I've kind of been using those throughout this series just because they were brand new, so I put them in my cup on my desk and they're handy, and I actually really like them. So that's what I've been using. But I have both sets. I have the pastels and the brights, and I've been enjoying using them. So let's see. Amy, you wanted to see my previous one? Sure. I'll show you my previous recurring task tracker. I had it marked just in case you guys asked. So that's it. It's pretty much the same. Oops. There you go. So last time I had doing a traffic and income, that's for me. I do my traffic and income internal, and that's just for me to check in with myself and kind of see how the website's doing. You know, is it financially healthy? Is my traffic dipping? Have I had a spike in traffic for some reason? I send out my newsletter. I do the challenge graphics. I run on Instagram, I run a 6-word story challenge. So I end up doing, okay, I've got one vote for purple from Amy. I've got, yeah, so I have to do the challenge graphics and make sure that I get that post up, create my monthly spread, migrate and check future planning and recurring posts. So this is something that I'm not going to have in my recurring monthly task tracker anymore because I'm moving it to my journal checklist that we talked about, that we were going to have that journal checklist. I check my interlinks. That's when I go back through my website and I make sure that if an article applies to a different article, that I let people know, like, hey, you might also enjoy this one, because that way you guys get more information. The boys' haircuts, sponsored post. I was trying to accept some sponsored posts there for a while, and I've sort of backed off of that for a couple of reasons. But Lola needs her heartworm, reset cell data. So those are the types of things that I'm going to do on a recurring monthly basis. And I can add to this list too as the month goes on if I remember certain things. So I have a vote for blue or teal, another vote for purple, another vote for teal. Well, yesterday we did mint, so let's do purple just because I think we did, yeah, we did teal there. Let's go with purple. We'll do purple. Purple's a popular color. All right, let's do I think we're gonna go with this royal purple because I'm actually gonna write my tasks in this color and I want them to be visible. So we will color this guy in real fast. It's gonna be a nice deep, almost eggplant purple. Real pretty. Nice rich purple. So I finally got all caught up on the website, so all the replays and the companion posts for these videos are on the website in the Planvember section, so you guys can go through and rewatch all of them. I got all caught up. I was proud of myself. Gave myself a gold star for that. All right. Okay. All right. There. That's kind of fun. Just adds a little tiny pop of color. Oh, Megan, I'm sorry I missed your green vote, and Amy, your hot pink one. Okay, well, we ended up with purple anyway, so. All right, here we go. So let's do reset cell data. And we're going to give Lola her heartworm. Can't forget Lola. Her heartworm medication. And then we'll do a reminder for the newsletter. I don't want you guys to miss out on your newsletter. I always do a roundup of all my latest posts in the newsletter, so you don't have to worry about missing something. You don't have to check it. You know, you don't have to come back and remember to check the website, because nobody's going to remember to come back and check my little website. So, okay. What else? What else do we need to do? So, let's see. Let's think about this on a monthly basis. That's, you know what, we'll call that good for now. I know that I usually have dozens of these things that come up every month that I have to get done. So, but some of those things, like I said, some of those things I either am not doing anymore, or I've moved them to my journal checklist, which we're gonna make in a couple of days. So we don't really have to worry about those that much. But it's a handy one to come up with. And if you have things that don't happen every month, for example, let's do this one. Quarterly taxes. A lot of people who are small business owners have to do quarterly taxes. You guys know what I'm talking about. If you have a small business, you know what I'm talking about, right? So then you don't have to do those every month, but you do have to do them when they're due, which is, hang on, I've got all the dates here in my other journal. You have to pay your estimated taxes on, and I never remember these dates, April, June, September, and January. So let's black out the boxes that are not those months. So January, yes, we've got taxes due in January. Let's see, we've got April, so we can block out February and March. Okay. Change AC filters. That's a good one. Okay. I'm going to add that one on there. I'm going to add that one. All right. Here we go. So, yeah, we do not need quarterly taxes in February or March. We pay those in January. We pay them in April. We pay them in June. So we'll skip May. Yeah. We'll just black these out. Okay. We've got them in June, and we don't have any due in July or August. But we do have some due in September. So I'll black those out. Go. And then from September, once we pay them in September, we're good till the end of the year. Okay. So, there. For those of you who don't have quarterly taxes, you're like, man, that stinks. You have to pay taxes so much. But no, it just saves you from having to pay a huge chunk at the end of the year that you're not prepared for if you pay estimated taxes throughout the year. That's typical for small business owners and self-employed people. We know how it goes. All right. Change AC filters. All right. Take the fat cat for a walk. Amy, she totally needs a walk. You know, I even tried to get her to get more exercise by getting her like a laser pointer. And, you know, I'm like, oh, this will be great. She's going to chase the laser pointer and we're going to get her skinny again. And she chases it for a little while and then the dog comes over and, you know, takes over. Check fire extinguishers. Okay, that's a good one. Let's check our... Check fire. I'll do alarms and extinguishers. That's a good one. All right. And we'll do one more because I saw one more vote up there for dusting off the tops of doors and things like that. That's actually a really good thought because I never do those except when I do my annual spring cleaning. And let me just go ahead and lay this out here for you guys. I am not the best housekeeper. I have a clean house, but I'm not that person who's gonna, like, I don't have a cleaning schedule. You know what I mean? If it's dirty, I clean it. And if it doesn't look dirty, I don't notice it. So, okay. Yeah, and Lisa, I think we're in the same boat, actually. So, okay. All right. Taxes. Ugh, I don't want to think about taxes right now. All right, let's do dust off tops of doors. Yeah, because I don't ever think about those because I don't see them. Tops of doors and cabinets. You know what else is ceiling fans. My ceiling fans get so dusty and I have to climb up there with a ladder and dust them off. But anyway, I'll probably just do those when I do these. That's a nice little addition. Okay, so then, you know, you can basically just go through and I've left these, I went ahead and filled both of these in so that throughout the year, if I remember more that I need to add, then I can add the horizontal lines and then I automatically have the boxes to get those going. So that's it. Today's was a very easy peasy, very useful tracker. So, and I will use this throughout the year. So the next ones that we were going to do, I took off my sticky notes because I didn't want to get lines. The next ones that we're going to do are a planning routine and a journal checklist. So this is just formalizing your planning routine and assigning yourself regular times to sit down and do your planning so that you don't lose track of things. So Amy, purge and shred unneeded documents. That's a good idea. You know, I actually need to make a monthly, like, sell things on Craigslist type thing, you know, sell things on Craigslist or take things to Goodwill and do a donation bin, because it seems like things just accumulate and it's just not healthy to have that much stuff around that. I just, yeah. So we need to do like a purge and sell things to people who will make use of them. All right. So, yep. So tomorrow we'll formalize the planning routine. And depending on how much time we have, we may also do the journal checklist, which is just, yeah, we already talked about that. That's for if you're going to migrate something, then you can come through here and go, okay, have I checked my future planning? Have I checked my birthdays and holidays? Have I checked all of these different areas? So that's pretty much it. Yeah, if you guys don't have any questions for me, then I think that's it for today. Let me move you guys back here just a little bit because I like to say goodbye in person. I don't like signing off and having you guys say goodbye to my journal. So, you know, Amy said she'll be late. That's okay. If you guys can't make it to the live session, you can always watch the replay and you can comment on the replays. If you have a question that you need answered when we're not live, and then you can send me an email and I'll do my best to answer it. I know I still have emails from yesterday that I need to answer, but you can send me an email at Megan, M-E-G-A-N, at pageflutter.com. So, and I do check my work email throughout the day. If I get an email past a certain time of night, I won't answer it till the next day because I set office hours so that I can spend time with my family as well. I have little kids and they tend to need attention still from me. So that's pretty much it. If you guys don't have any other questions, then I will let you guys go. If you need any links, if you had any questions about anything that I used, you can check on the website in the Planvember section. Later today, I'll have this post up with a replay, and I'll have all the links. And I also try to go back into the Facebook, like right above the video, there's that little block where we can input text, and you guys will see like where the title and any little note from me is, and I'll try to add those links in there for you guys as well. So that's it. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Oh, if you're new, it's 10:30 Central, US Central time. So if you want to be in the live session, that's what time we start, and it's Monday through Friday. And that's it. That's all I can think to tell you guys. Oh, I almost forgot. Amy reminded me yesterday, and I still almost forgot. But I have a book that's coming out. That's kind of an important thing to mention, huh? So I don't know yet. I checked with my editor, and she isn't sure exactly when the paper copies are coming off the press. But the Kindle version is already available, and I know I've had some friends tell me that it auto-populated in their Kindle. And I started getting messages from friends saying, it's here, it's here. So that's exciting. But it is called Beyond Bullets, Creative Journaling Ideas for Your Personal Productivity System. And it's basically just a little bit of travel journaling, a little bit of art journaling, a little bit of scrap journaling, and all of the different, it's kind of inspired by all of the different journaling styles that are popularized right now in this new push towards creative journaling that we have, you know, this broad creative journaling movement that's happening. So you can kind of borrow from all those different styles to create the style that you want to create your perfect system. So that's it. That's all I have for today. Thanks, Lisa. I love being in here with you guys. I like actually being able to talk to you guys and hear from you. Blogging can be kind of a lonely thing when you're just writing the post and you put it out there on the website. But being here with you guys and actually hearing from you, it's very reassuring. So that's it. All right. I love you guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow at 10:30 Central. All right. Bye-bye.